On August 23rd, hundreds of residents gathered at Naper Homestead for the installation of a new statue 182 years in the making. Visitors watched as a larger-than-life image of our town founder, Joseph Naper, was unveiled, standing in the same spot he originally settled in 1831. I talked with those behind the statue and what it took for Joseph Naper to finally return home.
We'll pull that slab off of them and then clear out.
Here's some more of that.
Back in 2006 and 2007, the Naperville Heritage Society at Naper Settlement held an archaeological dig on a plot of land at the corner of Jefferson Avenue and Mill Street and uncovered the history of Joseph Naper and his early days in the area. Naper and his family arrived in DuPage County in 1831. What was nothing but wilderness, they made into a community that would today be known as Naperville, the fifth largest city in Illinois. During the dig, they found the original foundations for his 3 homes, his trading posts with the Native Americans, and thousands of artifacts documenting his history. Over the next 4 years, they worked to preserve everything, and in 2011, opened Naper Homestead.
Thanks to this effort, the archaeological discoveries that provide us a glimpse into the human story of the people who call this community home has been made a reality.
The park is a place for residents and visitors alike to walk down a path and see the outlines of the start of Naperville. Stones outline the first, second, and third homes of Joseph and Almeda and the trading post. But something was missing, a statue of Naper himself. A committee composed of city staff, settlement employees, and the Naperville Century Walk worked closely with Naperville resident and Pulitzer Prize-winning artist Dick Locher to create the statue.
We wanted to portray Joseph Naper at the time of founding, the time of settlement, and so he took our biographies and our histories and kind of the ideals that we wanted the statue to be.
The only problem was no one knows for sure what Naper looked like back then. The only known picture of the founder is when he was about 60. As a shipbuilder coming to the area, what tools would he use? What was he wearing?
He should have his Brown Bess rifle showing somewhere because it was hostile territory. He should have his map case, he should have his surveying instruments, he should have a change of clothing, and his boots, whatever they might be. He had to have a hat to get out of the hot sun, and he listed all the things, and we put them together in a sketch to see what it looked like. It looked like a junkyard had exploded. There were too many pieces, there was stuff hanging over.
The committee worked for many years to come up with a final concept, a larger-than-life image with his hand outstretched and a stump with surveying tools scattered on top.
We thought it'd be great if he was out surveying and he came to this spot and he stopped and he said, wow, I could have the sawmill down there and I could have Naperville here. And then we put one heel up like he's getting ready to move.
From there, they worked with Jeff Adams, owner of Mount Morris-based InBronze, who's created a number of statues in downtown Naperville. Adams took Locher's original drawing and helped it come to life, adding his own thoughts here or there.
The stories are real important, particularly with portrait pieces. That's part of, I think, pulling the whole spirit together, of trying to do people that you didn't know, you never met, you never have seen them, and so whatever you can pick up on their personalities or quirks or things like that is real helpful.
The final statue is more than 1,000 pounds, stands at nearly 10 feet tall, and is made of bronze. It's composed of 11 different pieces welded together.
Everything I do, I start out sculpting in clay, but that's not a permanent medium. So the first step after sculpting the piece would be to make a rubber mold. And from that rubber mold, we get a wax pattern. We duplicate the piece in wax. That captures all the detail that was in the original. We build a ceramic mold up around the wax pattern, and then that goes into a furnace at 1700 degrees. At that point, all the wax burns and melts out of the inside. The ceramic mold is cured, and that gives us a mold that we can pour the molten bronze into.
Once the statue was finished, they loaded it into the back of a truck and went on the same journey that Naper did in 1831.
We really wanted Joseph Naper to come to Naperville again for his second coming from the east. And so we directed him down 88 and then off of 88 onto Ogden, which was part of the Southwest Plank Road from Chicago to Ottawa. And so he came down Ogden He came down Washington just as the old stagecoaches did, and then he came down Jefferson Street to his homestead.
Once he was installed, hundreds of residents gathered at the homestead to catch a glimpse of the man who started it all.
The statue is a great, fantastic symbol of not only our heritage, but all the partnerships that basically came together to make it possible, to make Naperville possible. It's something that we all celebrate today as a way of saying this is a great symbol of a founder of this great city of Naperville.
I think he's very handsome. He's represented as a 33-year-old. He's strong. He's got a vision. His hand is outreached, asking not only something of himself, but of others who might be coming in the vicinity back when this was prairie and nothing. I mean, it's a very inspiring statue that brings you into the thought of his vision.
It's a long time coming, and I know everybody's so impressed with it. It's just magnificent. It directs everybody in the right direction, which is up and forward. When I see his statue, I'm appreciative, and I'm really jealous of that great head of hair they gave him too.
Naper's vision to build a new community for himself and his family started at the corner of Naper and Mill, a community that now has grown to nearly 40 square miles. Those involved hope seeing Naper's statue will continue to allow residents to pursue their dreams and are happy to see history come alive.
For me personally, as a historian, getting out of the library and getting out of the two-dimensional letters and diaries and newspapers and seeing a three-dimensional history still living is really rewarding.
There's no feeling in the world that you can describe when you see it come in metal. It's the same expression and what you had dreamed up in your synapses of your brain. You conjure up a picture. And then when it becomes three-dimensional and it becomes potent, it becomes a part of history, and the people in Naperville come to see it, you can't get any better than that.
I'm Jen Hannon for Naperville News Extra.